Hello family. So, we have here, freshly delivered today, exhaust gas analyzer. This thing will show us oxygen and carbon monoxide levels for our emissions test purposes. And then we also have here thermal camera, which this will allow us to take images of the Vadra as it's operating and show how it's absorbing thermal energy from the exhaust. And I wanted to show you guys on the Thunderstorm Generator here what I'm dealing with right now. Yesterday I had this this hose comes from the Vadra, which is our thermoelectric heat exchanger here. This tempers the steam. Basically is a vapor electrolysis chamber where steam becomes cracked into an ionized hydrogen, or it may actually be a decomposed hydrogen atom that is actually ripped apart into just protons, electrons, and neutron soup, plasma soup that was hydrogen atoms. And that flows through this hose and gets introduced into the intake. And I had it tapped into this air box here, like so, but the problem with that is that we need to be able to manipulate how much vacuum is being drawn from this hose to cause bubbling action inside this bubbling chamber. In order to do that, we need to use the choke on the carburetor, and that'll allow us to force more vacuum to be pulled from this side of it. And so I've been struggling right now. I gotta get these studs out of here to take the carburetor off because it's bumping into the frame rail. I'm trying to get this copper T in here to intercept the flow of the intake. And so basically the reason that we're doing that, the concept is described by Bob Greenier on Martin Fleischmann Memorial Project. He named his YouTube channel after the physicist, plasma physicist from the 80s, Martin Fleischmann, conceptualized the theory of fusion energy, which is being ripped off. It was suppressed while he was alive, and now Helion Energy, Sam Altman's company, is using what they call lattice containment fusion, which is based on Martin Fleischmann's concepts of low energy nuclear reactions. And so the idea here is that we can create this thing called a fractal toroidal moment. Fractal toroidal moment is basically a microbubble. That's why we have these little scrubber pads inside the bubbler here, is to help make really fine bubbles. We don't want big coarse bubbles because they're unpredictable what they do. We want to have these really small bubbles that collapse so violently they like snap shut and they make a little burst of static. The Navy actually classified cavitation related research for decades because they first observed these little flashes of light would occur on the propeller of submarines, and they'd start getting these little divots in the metal of the propeller, and they're like, what's causing this? And they found that it's actually when the propeller is spinning at a certain speed, they get little tiny bubbles that would pit into the propeller and cause these little fusion reactions, basically what they realized, which has an alchemizing effect on the metal. Metal would become impregnated with other atoms that they didn't understand where it was coming from. And so the idea is that we want to create these fractal toroidal moment, little bubbles are occurring, and they temper the water when they snap and collapse. Those special water molecules that are produced from the fractal toroidal moment, which basically looks like a donut-shaped bubble that implodes, and it creates a pattern where in that donut, it's made of a ring of other donuts, and those donuts are made of rings of other donuts, and it's donuts all the way down. So that's why they call it fractal toroidal moment, because it has something to do with the background operating system of the universe runs on fractals. And we are decomposing the water molecules inside of this thermoelectric heat exchanging reaction chamber, the Vadra. Taking heat energy comes from the exhaust, from the engine, and flows through here in the outer sphere. In the nested inner sphere, we're sending the water vapor, or these special exotic vacuum object tempered water vapor, is flowing in here, spinning around and vortexing. It makes a counter-rotating vortex against the exhaust coming out in the outer sphere, and that ionizes and decomposes the hydrogen atoms, and that then is sent into the engine, and that's by way of this intake now. So that's going to be the next step. Once I get this T added in here, then we'll be able to start running it and testing it with the gas analyzer and show you how much oxygen is actually putting out from this unique form of combustion. See you soon.